Shalom, shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostle and elder great males from the well. And salutation to the brethren in the four corners of the earth, pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. Now, just scrolling through YouTube, and I see a lot of Christians and a lot of men who say they're Israelites. I seen at least 3 videos that said how to deal with Hebrew Israelites, or how to debunk Hebrew Israelites, or Christians with prosperity and sensationalism doctrine, and they're trying to figure out ways to stop the truth. They're scrambling now, and the thing about it is, this truth is like an avalanche, like Snowball Effect. Once it starts growing and gaining momentum, it's impossible to stop. Who has ever tried to stop snowfall and came out victorious? Nobody. It's impossible to stop an avalanche, just like it's impossible to stop this truth, because this truth has been sanctioned and published by the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So, and one thing that a lot of people don't realize, most people on the planet, concerning these other religions, even these other Israelite camps that come up against the truth, is that we are in the time of the end, and as we are in the time of the end, faith and the spirit and knowledge shall be increased and flourish. This is Daniel 12:9. It says, "And he said, Go thy way, Daniel, for the words are closed up and sealed till the time of the end." So and that says the words are sealed till the time of the end. And a lot of people that read this, mainly the Christian church, think that the time of the end is the apocalypse. When the world is coming to an end, and you have sparks flying in the sky, and fictitious demons and Satan roaming the earth with red skin and tails, and and pitchforks and stuff. That's not the case, because if they really read the scripture, what they will learn is that the time of the end is now, and we've been in the time of the end since Yahweh Shai roamed the earth. It says, "Many shall be purified and made white and tried." Now that represents the elect. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. Now that represents 2/3 of Israel, also the rest of the nations. But the wise shall understand, and that's once again the elect. The wise shall understand. Understand what? The oracles and the mysteries of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And when you go back to Hebrews, the first chapter, the scriptures tell you, what days we're living in. This is Hebrews 1:1. It says, "The Most High, who at sundry times and in diverse manners spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets." So the Most High, who at different times, and in different manners, meaning different methods, spake by our fathers, spake to our fathers by the prophets, which would be, King David, Samuel, Ezra, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Hosea, Nahum, Habakkuk, Daniel, So the Lord spake by prophets, But then, verse 2, "hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son," which is Yahweh Shai, "whom he hath appointed heir of all things, by whom also he made the world." But the point in verse 2 is the first phrase, man. "Hath in these last days." So what does that tell you? That tells you that the last days started when Yahweh Shai roamed this earth, because it says, "hath in these last days spoken unto us by his Son." And guess what? The Spirit of the Lord, which is his Son, Yahweh Shai, is still with us now today. So we are still in these last days. So since now we are in the last days, going back to Daniel 12, the book isn't sealed anymore, man. The book was sealed until the time of the end. Now we are in the time of the end. And Yahweh Shai has loosed these seals, man. This Revelations 5:4. It says, "And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and read the book, neither to look therein." Now this is the prophecy in Revelations, foretelling the or not foretelling, but basically telling what has already happened, that the seals of the book have been opened. says, and one of the elders said unto me, weep not. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the root of David. Now, who is that? That's Yahushua, man. Didn't Yahushua come out of the stock of King David's line through his mother and his father? And wasn't he of the tribe of Judah? Hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the seals, 7 seals thereof. And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb, as it had been slain. Now, who was the sacrificial lamb? Yahushua. So this is still talking about Yahushua. Having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High, sent forth into all the earth. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. Verse 8. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb. Now the elders are just angels, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to the Most High by the blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation. And that's talking about the 144,000 and 1/3 elect, the Israelites out of every kindred, tongue, and people, and nation, meaning land. So now that you know, well, verse 10, it says, and it has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. So what has happened is that Yahushua has loosed the seals of the book. He has loosed the seals of the Bible and allowed us and taught us the understanding and the fruits of the Spirit, man, so that we can go forth and we can proclaim, his word and his name, and prophesy against the downfall of this current society. So now what you're getting is that once the book was sealed, and now the book is not sealed, and now it's open for us to reap all this understanding and knowledge, because aren't we in the information age? So now what you are getting when something has become bigger than what you initially thought it was, and something that has now become a force to be reckoned with, is called a snowball effect. Now this is from the Wikipedia. Snowball effect. It says, metaphorically, a snowball effect is a process that starts from an initial state of small significance and builds upon itself. Now, a state of small significance, going back to the old school in Connecticut, going back to One West, which started with um, Abba Bivens, Priest Yaiquab, Priest Arya, and King Masha, and Apostle Har, and the elders and the apostles and the elders on down. It was something of a small significance. You didn't have camps in every state. You didn't have camps in other countries. You didn't have a big following on the internet, because the internet wasn't even around really. It was still in its infancy. So and I think what this is significant too is that when the internet started to grow, that's when the the knowledge of our Israelite heritage started to grow, because presuming the Psalms in the 19th chapter, the internet was created to manifest its truth throughout the whole world, So it was of small significance, and it built upon itself, it didn't build upon itself, actually. It built upon the Spirit, it built upon Yahushua, which is the foundation. It says, becoming larger, graver, more serious, and also perhaps potentially dangerous or disastrous. A vicious circle, though it might be beneficial instead, a virtuous circle. See, so it becomes dangerous and disastrous. What? To where it's moving towards. But it might be beneficial instead. So while it's beneficial, what we're moving toward is disastrous and dangerous for what we're about to hit, which is this current society, So it's disastrous to this current society, but beneficial while we're building up, It says this is a cliche in cartoons and modern theaters that is also used in psychology. The common analogy is with the rolling of a snowball down a snow-covered hillside. As it rolls, the ball will pick up more snow, gaining more mass and surface area, and picking up even more snow and momentum as it rolls along. Now, if you've ever seen something like that roll down a hill, that's exactly what happens. It gains momentum, and it gains more snow, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, you know, until it becomes this massive ball, this massive force moving towards something, and it crashes, you know. And then the snow, what happens to the snow? The snow ultimately just goes back to the ground, and the snow is still snow. The snow isn't harmed, but what it impacts is harmed, you know. And what's being impacted by the truth and the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai is the people on the earth, man. You know, like the scriptures say, I will make thy mouth a fire, and I will put my word in thy mouth and make you a fire, and these people stubble, you know. So these people are becoming stubble, and they're getting burned up, you know. They're being destroyed by the vicious momentum and the grave snowball that has been created. You know, it's John chapter 3 verse 19. It says, "And this is the condemnation that light is come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil." You know, so this is the condemnation that light is coming to the world, meaning the judgment. And that avalanche or that snowball that's coming towards you is judgment. You know, and it's getting bigger and bigger and it's getting faster and faster, gaining momentum until it hits its target. You know, for everyone that doeth evil hated the light. Now they're coming to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. And everyone hates the light. Everyone hates the knowledge of the scriptures, man. Especially when it comes from those who are sanctioned to speak the oracles of the Most High. Because they love doing evil. It says, "But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in the Most High." So the prophets of the Lord, their deeds will be made manifest, that they are of Yahweh Shai. So not only do you have, us living in the last days, the seals of the book being opened, and the world being condemned, but as the world is being condemned, faith is flourishing. This is 2 Ezra 6:28. It says, "As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. And the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared." And it says shall be declared. So that's a statement, meaning it's going to happen no matter what. No matter what you think, believe, or understand, it's going to happen no matter what. Just like that snowball effect. That snowball that's rolling down the side of the mountain, that's gaining traction and speed and momentum, and that's gaining more snow and more surface area and more mass. You can't stop it. It's going to roll down this hill and hit something. Just like the truth is going to flourish. And it's going to be declared. And it's being declared now. It says, and these, Slakia, you know what? That's it. Yeah, that's it on that scripture. But so yeah, it's going to be declared, man. It's being declared now. There's no turning back. The world already knows, and Esau's shaking in his boots. That's why he's scrambling to find something that can combat, the truth. The black consciousness didn't work. The other Israelite camps didn't work. The false doctrine didn't work. The Catholic Church isn't working. Atheism isn't working. Science isn't working. So they're trying to find something that's working, that will work, or at least slow it down. But you can't. It's already gone. Just like that snowball. That snowball is already rolling down the hill, baby. It's already here. And proof of that is in Matthew 24, man. Because like I was talking about the internet earlier. As the internet blew up, the truth blew up. In Matthew 24:14, it says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations." And this gospel has been preached over the whole world, man. You can see these videos day or night in any country. And you can use Google Translate, or you can use the caption translate on the YouTube videos and translate in your language. So these things are imminent, man. And it's to be a witness unto all nations. And it's happening through the internet, man. And then shall the end come. So the end is near. The end is very near. Scriptures say our salvation is nearer than when we believe. So when it comes to vocab Malone and the Christians and anything else, any other any other thing claiming to be a force coming up against the truth, it really doesn't matter, because this truth is always going to prevail. And whether people believe it or understand it or like it or not, the end has come. you know? So I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who rule well. And salutations to the brethren on the four corners of the earth, pushing the word, truth, and sincerity. Shalom.